If you have thin or fine hair like me, you probably wonder what products actually work for volume. Is my hair thinning or is it just fine? And how can I make it look thicker without extensions? Today I'm answering the top 10 questions that will finally point you in the right direction. Question number 1, what is the difference between fine and thin hair? Fine hair describes the thickness of the overall strand. Thin hair describes how much hair you have overall on your scalp. You can have fine hair, but a lot of it, and you can have coarse hair that's thin in density. Knowing the difference will really help you pick the right approach. Question number 2, is hair loss the same as having fine hair? The answer is no. They often get lumped together because some of the solutions do overlap, but they are not the same thing. Hair loss is really about density, and you're actually losing strands. That usually calls for treatment-based solutions, supplements, and in some cases, hair additions. And I have to say, hair additions have come a long way. There are some undetectable hair toppers out there that can really boost your confidence and make a huge difference. So do not discount them. Fine hair means each strand is naturally small in diameter, even if you have a full head of it. The focus here is more on styling tips and using the right products. And if you're dealing with hair loss, thinning, or you just want more volume, try joining a Facebook group community like Fine Haired Friends. They do really offer a lot of solutions, and you can ask questions and get feedback, and it's really nice to be part of a community like that. Question number 3, why is my hair thinning or shedding? There are so many reasons why your hair could be thinning or shedding, and a lot of these reasons might not even cross your mind, so it can be really confusing. When I'm troubleshooting with my clients, I usually have a handful of questions, and my very first question that I always ask is, what was happening in your life 6 months ago? Because it can actually take up to 6 months for your scalp and your hair to recognize a stress and start shedding. So that's why it can be extremely difficult to pinpoint what is going on and what is actually causing it. Possible causes can include weight loss, medication, stress, thyroid, hormones, postpartum, age, vitamin deficiencies, lack of nutrition, or it could just be hereditary. The list goes on. Now, of course, I am not a doctor, but my first suggestion would be to make an appointment with your dermatologist. Then they can order you some blood work and hopefully get you pointed in the right direction. Question number 4, how often should I wash my fine or thin hair? Now, I see most women with fine or thin hair wash their hair daily. And that is because oil travels faster down fine hair strands, making it look and feel greasy faster. So if your scalp gets oily fast, that's completely fine. Just be using a very gentle volumizing shampoo and conditioner. And I will link my favorites in the description below. But to save time and prevent heat damage, I would suggest trying to go every other day and using a powdered dry shampoo on day 1. This is going to prevent the oils from building up in the first place. And I have a couple that I absolutely love because this is something I do every time I wash, and I will link those in the description below as well. Question number 5, why does my fine hair look flat no matter what I do? Again, fine hair is thinner in diameter, so it doesn't stack on itself like a thicker strand of hair does. That just means it's going to collapse faster and lose volume quicker. The trick is in the right structured haircut like a blunt bob or strategic layers. Styling techniques like using a round brush, and of course, using the right volumizing products that work for your hair. Question number 6, what is the best haircut for fine hair? All right, you guys, you've heard me say this before, and that's blunt cuts. Blunt cuts are going to give you the illusion of more density because the weight sits at the bottom. Too many layers can make your hair look fine and stringy. What I like to do is give my clients strategic interior layers. So they still have nice movement, but they're not sacrificing their density by adding in too many layers. That said, a few well-placed layers or face framing layers can also add a lot of movement. It's all about strategic layering, not overlayering. If you guys are learning anything, now is a good time to subscribe and hit the like button. It really does help support my channel, and it does show me that you're enjoying this content, and it does help YouTube push this out to other people. On to question number 7. Why does my hair look frizzy even though it's fine? This one is definitely one of the most aggravating ones for us with thin and fine hair. Fine hair has less cuticle layers protecting it, so it is more vulnerable to humidity, heat damage, and dryness. Frizz isn't about thickness, it's about the condition of the strand. A heat protectant, a lightweight smoothing serum, and proper blow drying techniques can definitely tame it. I will link what I'm loving right now in the description below if you were in the market for any of those products. Question number 8, what are the best type of products for volume without stiffness? You're gonna wanna look for weightless formulas like the following. Root lifting sprays and mists, volumizing mousse applied on the ends only. You're gonna wanna avoid the roots because this can weigh your hair down. Lightweight dry volumizing or texturizing sprays for grip. You're gonna wanna skip anything labeled smoothing or moisturizing near the scalp. And I always love to finish with a light hold brushable hairspray if you want that hold without the crunch. Again, I will link my current favorites below by category so it's easy for you to find. And these are products that I personally use on myself and I personally use on my clients. And if you have any volume products that you're absolutely loving, drop them in the comments below. It can definitely help us all. Question number 9. How can I make my fine hair hold a curl all day? With the right prep and set products and the right styling techniques, your hair can absolutely hold a curl all day. Fine hair needs grip, so start with a lightweight volumizing spray, volume lotion, or a very lightweight mousse. Always use a heat protectant. When you're curling your hair, it's best to use smaller sections and let the hair sit in the curling iron until it gets hot. I always have the advice to touch the hair, and once it starts to feel hot, then you can release. And always let your curls cool before brushing them out. Now, before setting your hair with hairspray, I always like to add some extra texture in my hair, and I prefer using a dry volumizing spray or a dry texturizing spray, and definitely very liberally. This is going to give your hair more density. Now I have my favorite one right here. This is the R+Co Balloon Dry Volumizing Spray, and I will make sure to link that with all of my other favorite products. Then of course, you're gonna wanna set it with a lightweight hairspray. I like to spray my hair all over, and I like to spray it up into my hair so it does not weigh my hair down or cause my volume to collapse. Final question, question number 10. How can I make my hair look thicker without extensions? Of course, there's a few tricks, but number 1, the blunt haircut. I know I sound like a broken record, but the blunt haircut gives you more density at the bottom because it has more structure. And I just love a blunt bob. It's just a great length because it creates fullness and the appearance of more density. The next one is very important. Never skip your blow dry. If you're not gonna blow dry your entire head, at least blow dry your roots and your scalp. When you let your hair air dry, the natural oils spread more easily, which can make your hair look greasy and flat faster. Now I do have some blow drying tips. If you want more body, always use a round brush. Another thing that I like to do, even before I pick up my round brush, is over direct your hair and use your head like a giant round brush. I like to get my hair about 90% dry before you pick up your round brush. Trust me, it'll save you a lot of time. And both of those techniques will give you instant lift and a lot more long-lasting body. All right, so my last and favorite styling tip for instant volume at the root is using a contraption like this. There's many kinds on the market. This is by Babulous, and it is a texturizing crimper. But what it's really meant for is giving you volume at the root. And let me tell you, the little extra time and effort to use this is such a game changer, and I highly recommend it. And that is it. Some of the most common and honestly most frustrating questions about fine thin hair answered. And you guys, I would love to hear from you. Please drop your biggest struggles in the comments and let me know what you'd like me to cover next. Don't forget to check out my other videos for tips on fine and thin hair. I will link them below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.